With folded hands, bowed head, and with all my heart, I offer my respects to Lord Krishna, who has given us the great scripture of the Bhagavad Gita. If one applies its principles to life, one attains ultimate happiness, ultimate peace, and ultimate satisfaction. Hundreds of people have written commentaries on the Gita, yet it seems that some meaning remains. God is infinite, and the meaning of His words is also infinite. Nevertheless, if even a little of the Gita's meaning is understood and applied in life, well being is certain. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna specifically discusses three paths. Number one, the path of knowledge. Number two, the path of action. Number three, the path of devotion. By following these paths, you can attain God. What does it mean to attain God? To attain God is to attain a joy, a peace, and a contentment that never diminishes and lasts forever. Whereas the joy from acquiring worldly things is limited and temporary. The aim of every person in this world is to attain happiness, peace, and joy. If a person wants to earn a lot of money, then the reason behind it is that he feels that by getting money, he will become happy, he will be pleased, he will get peace. That is, the ultimate goal is happiness and peace. Similarly, people who desire position, honor, power, or a man or woman also seek happiness overall. But lasting happiness cannot be achieved by acquiring any worldly object, person, or position, because every happiness brings sorrow with him like a shadow. If happiness has come, sorrow will inevitably follow. But the Lord Krishna talks about paths that can help you transcend happiness and sorrow. One of those paths is desireless karma yoga or nishkam karma yoga. The definition of desireless karma yoga is simple, but its meaning is profound. The definition is desireless karma yoga, which is about performing actions without desire. And its basic verse, which is mentioned in the Gita, is the 47th verse of the second chapter of the Gita, that is, कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भुर्मा ते संगोऽस्त्वकर्मणि. The meaning of this verse is that your right is only to perform your actions, never to their fruits. Do not perform your actions for the sake of reward, nor should you be attached to not performing them. That means you have to keep doing your work, but not for to get anything. Lord Krishna said in the Gita that a human being cannot remain without action for even a moment. If you are sleeping, you are doing the karma of sleeping. If you are doing nothing but sitting, you are doing the karma of sitting idle. This means that you will inevitably perform karma. You cannot escape it. However, do not perform karma to gain something. This verse contains very profound insights, which must be understood in some detail. First, achieving something is completely out of your control. The only action is in your control. That's why Lord Krishna said, you have to control only over the action itself. not or its results. Let's illustrate this point with some examples. A farmer sows seeds in his field and works hard to get a good harvest. However, if there is a flood, drought, or a locust attack, he won't get the desired fruit. The fruit is not in his hands. Only his actions are in his control. Similarly, a student may study very well, but it's not in their control to ensure they get high marks on exams. What if they become very ill on the day of an exam? Or if they have an accident? Atom bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, destroying both cities. At that time, many students in those cities must have been studying very well to get good marks. Did they get the results they wanted? Similarly, you can do business, but it is not entirely in your control to make profit. The individual is responsible for doing, but the results is in the hands of the collective. That is why Lord Krishna says, do not do work for the fruits of your actions. Those who do work for the fruits of their actions are called poor in the Gita, because it is not in their hands whether they get the fruit or not. The second thing is that no matter how much wealth, respect, power you acquire in this world, you cannot find lasting peace and happiness from all these. You only find temporary peace and happiness. And a very important thing, listen to it very carefully and think about it with full concentration, that whenever any of your wishes is fulfilled, then the happiness you get it because you become desireless for some time. The happiness you experience isn't due to a wish being fulfilled, but rather the moment you become desireless. This happiness is the joy of desirelessness. After a while, other desires will overtake you and this happiness will vanish. To be desireless is a very high state. That is why Krishna said, do your work but do not desire. Now the most important question arises, is action possible without desire? The answer is absolutely yes. If this were not possible, Lord Krishna would not have said so. Let's understand this with a few examples. Once we had guests over and we were serving them dinner. My son, who was 5 years old at the time, said, I will serve the food. As he served, his face was filled with joy. Every fiber of his being was filled with joy. For him, doing his work was a joy. He had no desire for reward. This was desireless action. Lord Krishna is talking about this kind of action, in which there is no desire for reward. The very act of doing is a joy in itself. You are going on the road, some person's stuff fell on the road. You picked it up, gave it to him. You do not have any desire in your mind to get anything in return for this act. This is example of Nishkam Karma, means desireless work. But only someone who has ever done such deeds can know how much spiritual peace they give. When you start doing all the work as if doing it is a joy and you do not care about its results, then this is the path to ultimate peace and happiness. That is why Karma Yoga is said to yield immediate results. There is no possibility of loss in this yoga, because doing your work is bliss and doing it is always within your control. If you don't desire, there is only bliss. There is no end to desire. As soon as one desire is fulfilled, another arises. There is no end to it. Even if a desire is fulfilled, there is still suffering. because a greater desire will arise. Not all desires are fulfilled, and unfulfilled desires are always suffering. Desiring never yields results. Results come from doing, and Karma Yoga not forbids actions. It only forbids the desire for results. If I wish to become billionaire, as many people do, that one cannot become a billionaire just by wishing, but one can become a billionaire by just working without wishing. Vivekanand said that earlier he used to think that a person has a burning desire to achieve something, only then he does such actions that he gets what he wants. But later he discovered that this thinking was wrong. Without desire, a person can achieve more and more easily simply by performing their duty. Desire wastes energy and also diminishes mental stability and presence of mind. To understand this a little more deeply, the desire to achieve something keeps a person mind focused on the future, because the results is always in the future. The action is always in the present. But when a person acts to gain something, their mind no longer remains focused on the present, but instead dwells on the future, hoping the future results. Consequently, the actions doesn't turn out as good as it could have been. While a person is not doing work to get something, doing work itself is a joy. In such a situation, he is able to work with a completely present mind, due to which the work is done very well and its result is automatically good. That is why Lord Krishna called the yoga skill in action. Yoga karma sukoshalam. Skill in action comes naturally through desireless karma yoga. Lord Krishna also said that equality is yoga. Equality means treating happiness, sorrow, gain, loss, victory, defeat, honor, insult, favorable and unfavorable equally. This means that no matter what the situation, your state of mind should always remain the same. Don't be overjoyed in happiness and depressed in sadness. This equanimity is called yoga. Yoga means union with the divine, that is, attaining ultimate peace. When you don't work for results, you don't feel happy or sad about the results you get, because you haven't had any aspirations or hope. When things happen as per expectations, you are happy. When things happen to contrary to expectations, you are sad. Someone does not have any expectations, the results cannot make the person happy or sad. Through the yoga of equality, you transcend both happiness and sorrow. Secondly, understand deeply that the happiness same as the sadness. Happiness doesn't last forever, nor does sadness. Happiness is a feeling and sadness is also a feeling. If you constantly live in happiness, you stop feeling happiness. If you constantly live in sadness, you stop feeling sadness too. Whatever we do will either bring us happiness or sorrow. When happiness and sorrow become equal to us, we no longer act to gain anything. Performing work is a duty and no one can live without it. So we act. This is called Karma Yoga, which is the path to ultimate peace. Understand that happiness and sadness are the two sides of a coin. If there is happiness, sadness is always attached to it. If there is sadness, happiness is always attached to it. If you want freedom from suffering, you must also be free from happiness. That is why the condition of equanimity of yoga is that the state of mind should remain the same in both happy and sad situations. Only then can you be free from both. If you have enjoyed a soft bed and pillows, sleeping without them will be painful. But someone who has never enjoyed a soft bed and pillow won't find sleeping on the floor without a pillow painful. This means that someone who hasn't experienced happiness won't experience sorrow either. When someone's wife dies, he feels sad because he enjoyed her. But someone who never married will never experience the sorrow of his wife's death. If you are very hungry and you have experienced the pain of hunger, eating will bring you immense pleasure. But if you are not hungry at all, eating won't bring you that pleasure. This means that happiness and sorrow are two sides of the same coin. It is impossible to have one but avoid the other. Lord Krishna says, abandon both. Treat both as equal. So does this means we should not enjoy happiness? We shouldn't use good beds and pillows? Or shouldn't get married? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It simply means giving up attachment to happiness. Attachment is the cause of suffering. Desireless karma is freedom from attachments and hence freedom from sorrows also. Just like a lotus leaf lives in water, but the water cannot wet it. In this world filled with joys and sorrows, may you remain like a lotus in water. May happiness and sorrow not touch you. To transcend joys and sorrows, to reach supreme bliss and ultimate peace, Lord Krishna has described one path in the Gita, desireless karma yoga, which we have discussed in this video. If you write in the comment section that I should make more videos on the Gita, I will definitely do so. Namaskar, Shri Krishna.